I've said this tens of thousands of times, and it always blows me away. Your brain is the most complicated organ in the universe. There is nothing as complex as the human brain. Nothing. It's estimated we have 100 billion nerve cells, and each nerve cell is connected to other nerve cells, not in a one-to-one connection, but up to 10,000 individual connections between cells, which means you have more connections in your skull than there are stars in the universe. Information in your brain travels at about 268 miles an hour, unless, of course, you're drunk. And even though your brain is only 2% of your body's weight, it uses 20 to 30% of the calories that you consume. So of the breakfast you had this morning or the lunch you had this afternoon, almost a third of it goes to feed 2% of your body's weight. Your brain is the most expensive real estate in your body. With a better brain, everything in your life is better, from your body to your money to your relationships to the level of innovation. Without imaging, psychiatrists then and even now make diagnoses like they did in 1840 when Abraham Lincoln was depressed by talking to people and looking for symptom clusters. Did you know that psychiatrists are the only medical specialists that virtually never look at the organ they treat? Think about it. Cardiologists look, neurologists look, orthopedic doctors look, virtually every other medical specialties look, psychiatrists guess. Here is a set of healthy SPECT scans. The image on the left shows the outside surface of the brain. Here is a healthy scan compared to someone who had 2 strokes. You can see the holes of activity. Here's what Alzheimer's looks like, where the back half of the brain is deteriorating. Here's a scan of traumatic brain injury. Your brain is soft and your skull is really hard. Or drug abuse. The real reason not to use drugs? They damage your brain. When your brain is not healthy, for whatever reason, you had a brain injury, you have a terrible diet, you live in a toxic environment, you're sadder, sicker, poorer, not as smart, you're more rigid, and you're inflexible, which is the opposite of innovation. I was 37 years old, and I scanned my own brain. And I looked at it compared to a lot of other scans, and I went, yuck, too many bumpy places. And I've actually never drank. Got drunk when I was 16. I had a hangover for 5 days. I went, this is not for me. Never smoked, never did drugs. I'm like, so why does my brain look so bad? I only slept 4 or 5 hours a night because I was driven. I was drinking diet soda like she was my best friend. I carried more weight, was under chronic stress, and it showed. Alcohol is directly toxic to brain function. I know many of you believe you have to have your 2 glasses of red wine a day because it's good for your heart. It's not good for your brain. With a healthy brain, it's very clear to me. You're happier, healthier, wealthier, you're wiser, you're more creative, more innovative. I would never let my kids play tackle football. When does the brain finish developing? 25. So the idea that you are an adult at 18 from a neuroscience perspective is just flat out stupid. And the insurance companies know that. When do your insurance rates change and stabilize? 25. Why? Because you're making better decisions, and the decisions you make are a brain function. So do not let your kids put their brains at risk. You'll take environmental toxins so much more seriously. This is one of the firefighters that we scanned recently. And you see this overall low activity, those holes. He doesn't have physical holes in his brain. What he has is serious overall low activity. But if you make good decisions today, well, we found this out with our NFL study, that you can start to improve your brain within 2 months.